Meghan Markle is famously known for being a former American actress who married Prince Harry of England in 2018. In 2020, he stepped down from the royal duties of his wife and has been engaging in philanthropy under their Archewell Foundation. Some are causes that support education initiatives for underprivileged youths, according to documents from the Department of Education under the Freedom of Information Act. Markle, it turned out, had last year become involved in a program at a public school that was providing laptops and internet access to low-income students so they could learn remotely during the pandemic. A federal COVID relief program launched in February 2021 provided funds worth $828,000 to buy 409 Chromebooks and 1 year's home internet subscriptions from a major provider. This was, on the face of it, a very good initiative of helping bridge the digital divide for these students who could not access online schooling from home. However, a few months post the program's rollout, it was reported that the alarms had been raised over some financial irregularities in the record of spending. On checking the invoices and receipts, we found out that the amount of $2,000 per student, amounting to $818,000 from the total funds, had been diverted to an organization called the Archewell Foundation, headed by Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. When department officials asked for documentation justifying spending that high, Archewell explained that the money was for paying fees that included administrative support and strategic planning related to getting the program off the ground. The records, however, indicated that they refused apparently to disclose full records of each service for which they performed to earn such 40% cut of the total budget. It is reported to be excessive. This lack of transparency raised major red flags within the Department of Education and initiated investigation interviews with school administrators and technology staff actually responsible for ordering, distributing, and maintaining the Chromebooks. There was not found any record of substantive involvement or work product from the Archewell Foundation relating to the program. Staff said they had run the whole initiative independently from the start through to the end with no input from Markle or her organization. When further pressed to explain the remaining $818,000, representatives from Archewell were said to be getting more elusive and uncooperative in giving a clear account of how this money was spent. To date, no evidence has been produced that suggests the money was actually ever put towards program-related expenses, which are legitimate, as initially claimed. In fact, this would be a siphoning of funds toward the Archewell Foundation and appear to be exploitative use of taxpayer dollars, earmarked to help underprivileged children in a situation of emergency. Now referred to the Inspector General for a full investigation of possible fraud or embezzlement charges against Meghan Markle and the Archewell Foundation. If proven right, these represent a gross ethical breach of public trust. Scarce education resources meant for underprivileged youth were inappropriately taken, which seriously discredits the name of Meghan Markle, a high-profile, visible public figure linked with royal humanitarian work, through such exploitative actions. All of it paints a troubling picture counter to her public persona of being a champion of social causes. Defenders say it's premature to make judgments before all facts come out and that the allegations remain only that, allegations and improving claims. However, the apparent refusal to give a transparent account of how almost $820,000 was spent raises legitimate questions that need answers. Students, parents, taxpayers, and donors have the right to know that the money assigned to them for the education of needy children helps to fill those needs and does not just end up lining someone else's pockets without due cause. If, after a thorough investigation, there could not be clear accounting of the money presented, and evidence exists to show that the money contributed in kind to the laptop program as implied, then it would surely be an apparent exploitation of disadvantaged youth for financial gain, an outrageous abuse of power and public trust. In today's polarized climate, such an action could also be used strategically to score political points rather than solving problems. That really does show how even the best-placed philanthropy can go awry without enough oversight, transparency, and accountability in place. In these large sums of public monies, there is a high standard of ethics, transparency, and legitimate documentation to prove the money was properly and usefully used for the real value obtained as intended. Appearances of impropriety or secretive misuse seriously undermine public confidence.